Hello, friends. Talking about anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and mania. One of my friends on here was talking about that in her video, and I commented to her what I'm talking about here. I'm going to expound on it. So if you're coming on in, welcome. Again, this is the information. New to this information, or you don't know what I'm talking about, and you've experienced some of these things, and you can put them together, and it might help you. If you're an older person, you've been through mood swings, you probably are on it already. You already basically know these things, and you can maybe put something into the comments to help out if I've missed anything. My experience, when I have an anxiety attack, it's usually when I'm in public, not always. I can have them when I'm alone. Give you an example. I went to a birthday party at Spaghetti Factory. If they have that where you're at, it's a restaurant. It's pretty big, it's kind of nice. And I hadn't been out in a while, and there were so many people in the restaurant, and it was so loud. And I just got there, and the parking lot was completely packed. And I hate going into a place that has a lot of people in it. I don't like it. Well, I found my family's table for the birthday party, and there was all my family. And when I got up there, I had all the presents in my hand. I had an anxiety attack. And the feeling was an overwhelming feeling where I locked up. And my nervous system had been taken over, where I was seriously, I was locked up. That's the best way I can put it, in the overwhelming feeling. And here's all my family looking at me. And I had enough into me to say, I'll be right back. I took off. My sister comes after me. We're standing in the middle of Spaghetti Factory, kind of where the waitresses are going back and forth. And they'd stop, is everything okay? Because I had tears coming down my face because I am frustrated about this happening. And it being what I equate it to was how loud it was in there, because I don't do very well with loud noises. So there's so many people talking in there. It was super loud, and it was real bright, and there was a bunch of people. I'd say that the number one thing was probably how loud it was. And I had my headphones to put in, which I always have on me, and I didn't have my music on I have a little thing that I plug into my phone, that I have my music. I didn't have that with me, and I didn't have anything on my phone to put it on. And I have no internet on my phone when I'm out. So I was standing there. I took about 5 minutes, 10 minutes with my sister comforting me. It's okay. Are you okay now to come back? And I said, yeah, okay, I'll come back. It still was not gone. The anxiety attack was still there. And I was barely making it because I had my headphones in, and it wasn't enough to block the noise, so I had to cover my ears somewhat. It was so loud, it's ridiculous. Just everyone's talking. We were talking hundreds of people in this massive spaghetti factory that just wasn't shutting the fuck up. And they were all, and everyone that's talking in there has to talk real loud because it's so fucking loud in the place. I didn't order any of the food. I didn't want any of it. There was no way I was going to eat. Because one of the things with the anxiety is being able to put food down, and the feeling of maybe having to go to the bathroom and all those types of things. So food is going to stimulate all of that. There's no food. So here's my family looking at me the whole time. Oh no, is he okay? Oh no. Well, they all know that I've got things going. And I finally got to the point where I said, just fuck this. And I said, all right, okay, all right. They opened their presents, all right, okay. And I went out and I sat in my car, and I just sat there. Actually, before that, I was pacing around the parking lot, and I wasn't feeling any better. And I didn't want to go back in. They were all going to be sitting there, eating their food, talking about whatever, making it even more loud. And I sat in the car for about 40 minutes, just sitting there. I don't have anything on my phone. And those are some times when I don't have anything at all to do with myself. So I'm sitting there just like, fuck, are they gonna get done? Because afterwards we were gonna go to a Japanese arcade and play video games, which I love. And then when we got there, things cooled down a little bit. And even though there was people there, I was around things that cooled me down. And we all had a nice time, just played the games for a little bit, and then we all went our way. Well, that whole thing was set up by me, with those birthday parties. So my family, if they any kind of things that I'm going to put together with my family, they know beforehand, oh shit, we could have more crap from this person, our family here. So if he's putting something together, so it's getting to the point where my family, if they have anything to do with me at all, they might not be up for my bullshit. And that's a part of the grief. And I have to be, and I am understanding that if something sucks, it sucks. And if it sucks to be around people, it sucks to be around people. And that is my example of an anxiety attack. And that's probably about the best I can explain it from my experience. Some other things I can expound on is my nervous system with anxiety attacks. A lot of times it's just real fast can be an overwhelming feeling. It just comes on. And this is where it can get you could get them mixed up between the anxiety attack and the panic attacks. I had my first panic attack when I was about 33 or 34, somewhere around there. And I woke up to it, and I thought I was dying. I literally thought I was dying. I was numb on this side of my body. I didn't have any. It felt like I was having a heart attack. So let me put it that that's what came to my mind, because the way my chest felt and the way that my body was turning numb and the way my shoulder felt, because I've heard things about your shoulder during heart attacks and your side. And it's also too, it scared me because I'd never had this happen to me in my life. So I got up, I barely made it. I came upstairs, I was convulsing. I was laying down and I was shaking. And I still thinking, okay, this is it. I'm done. I'm going to die. I don't know what the fuck is going on at this point. I'm shaking. Or the word will come to me. What that is. So that was my body's reaction to what was happening. Every other time after that, now that I knew that it was a panic attack, then I've had a handful of them, maybe 5, 6, 7 panic attacks since. And I've had a couple of panic attacks awake, daytime. And I usually have to pace for a minute, and it's the same feeling comes on. And it's really similar to the anxiety attack and the panic attack. The anxiety attack only goes up to a certain point. The panic attack it's for me, it's the same thing kind of, and then I have all kinds of other body things going on. And that thought that I'm going to die it still happens. And now when I wake up and I have a panic attack, I will usually, I see someone next to me, even though I'm in a dark room. I see someone next to me, and it's a split second, and I panic. I wake up, and then I realize I'm having the panic attack. I have the numbness. I have the numbness in the side of my body. It's scary, very scary, especially the first time you have it. It will scare the shit out of you. If you haven't experienced this and you've had anxiety attacks, I didn't have my first one until I was 34. I sometimes will wake up really puffy and feel like I have to vomit. And what I really have to do is I have to go number 2. So I'll be sitting there on the toilet and I'm sweaty, I'm puffy, I'm numb feeling, I have to throw up, and that's what comes out. Number 2, I don't throw up. That is something that happens, and that is the only other thing that I wake up to sometimes. And I've noticed that when I'm having the panic attacks, or this might have something to do with anxiety, or it might have to do with histamines or some kind of allergic reaction, if that's what this is I'm eating a lot of peanut butter during the times when I have panic attacks. So I really cut back on my peanut butter, and if I do have peanut butter, I only have a little bit, and if I've had some, I won't have any peanut butter for days in between. So I don't have a buildup of whatever it is. So this is important to me. And since I've done that, I haven't had a panic attack. The first time I had a panic attack, I was drinking a lot of craft beers, and I was eating a lot of peanut butter. A lot of it. So, if you look up videos on having a panic attack, there's lots of them where people are sitting in their living room, they have their girlfriend or their boyfriend, husband, wife, holding them. It's okay, honey. It's okay. No. Do you want to go and take a walk? No. Just leave me alone. Because they're in this zone. And now when I wake up and I'm having a panic attack, it's getting old. Because first I'm still kind of tired. And I'll instantly realize I'm having a panic attack. Fuck it. If I die, I die. I don't care. And I'll just go back to bed. It's still numb, and that's somewhat similar. I mean, the first time I had it was the most hardcore one of all. Because all of that fear that I had only made it worse. So it really does have some similarities to the anxiety attack, where I can say to myself, okay, well, this is what it is. And not feed it. Not feed that fear. And then 3, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the manic episodes and the psychosis. And a part of the anxiety and the stress and everything piling up in your brain or whatever, you're just exhausted. You've been doing things. Well, you can get to that point of having some kind of breakdown as well that results in mania. So where you would crash and burn, you're flying high. However strange way that's coming about, that can be too. So you're recognizing this prolonged anxiety. You're shaking, this anxious feeling. It's just not enough. Everything's not good enough. And we're not talking about an attack. We're just talking about days and days go by. You've taken the caffeine out. You've taken stimulants out, and you're still shaking. Everything's going faster and faster and faster. Well, now you're manic. So if you're new to all this and you're watching this video and you're getting this stuff for yourself or a family member or whatever, and they're going through something where they're acting very strange in a strange way, one, I would look at manic, the mania, and then very strange, very, very strange behavior when the psychosis is coming in. You're doing things, you're saying things that are, you're kind of lightheaded about the whole thing. And when you are in a high manic, high up, there's the feeling of euphoria. And the best way I can describe it, which is, it's a little lewd still, this is the best way I can describe it, is the onset feeling of coming, having an orgasm that does not go away. It doesn't get up to the point of the climax of the orgasm. It's this buzz, that feeling, that euphoric endorphins feeling. And it doesn't go away. And it has to do with your energy too. You can have mania in a low. You can have anxiety in a low. You can have a panic attack in a high. They all can be mixed one way or another. And when I start to have shortness of breath, and my breathing is all weird when I'm laying in bed, I kind of know it's very possible that I'm going to have a panic attack. And on some nights, I know before I even go to bed, I'm probably going to have a freaking panic attack. So number one, I'd say, if you're having panic attacks, take the peanut butter out, for whatever reason it is. Number one, take peanut butter out. Check it out. Because there are some people out there that have panic attacks over and over again, and it's not something that they can remove. They keep having them. They have way more than I have. So check that out. And let me know. Did it do anything for you? If not, let me know. Did you take peanut butter out for a couple of weeks? Did the panic attacks subside a little bit? Did they go down a little bit? Let me know. And there's a lot of stuff that has peanut butter in it too. Or, excuse me, peanuts. So you have to consider, completely removing peanuts. And maybe all nuts, if there is something in these nuts, a metal or whatever, that brings on the panic attacks. According to our bodies, specifically. Back to the psychosis. Back to manic feeling. The feeling of mania is the euphoria. And if you get the idea that a manic person is running down the street with their pants down, you've got the wrong idea. That's not necessarily a manic person. You might have it in your mind that from movies and from books and from media, that manic people are someone that you have to be afraid of, or someone that you have to, you have to do something about this person. No. Not really, because they're going to have them over and over and over again. They're going to keep having them. They're going to keep having these. So, if you're a mother or a brother or whatever, and there's someone that your spouse or whatever is having a manic episode, they're going to have another one. And they're going to have another one. And if they've manifested this to you, and you were with them for a year, or they're just starting to have them later on in their early 20s or whatever, they're going to have more of them. So it's, what do you do when they're having these manias? It's getting on, really. That's a whole nother video in itself. So psychosis feeling, any kind of psychosis stuff that I go through, a lot of times I'll know it because of videos I've made, and I'm talking, and I do not understand what the hell I'm saying in the video at all. Zero. And one of the main things that makes my mania or psychosis type things go up is when I've been eating too much chocolate, which is a psychoactive food. Look into that. It has 5 different stimulants in it. It's not only caffeine. There's 5 different stimulants. And there's actual videos that you can watch where people will get together and they'll drink massive doses of cocoa for a psychoactive trip. And there's plenty to know on this. And mainstream is not going to want you to know this, and they're not going to want you to think about this because they make money off of chocolate, and they make money off of people doing stupid things. And for us, where psychoactive things can mess us up, such as marijuanas and tripping and all those types of things, those things are only going to make us 5 times off, as it would someone that has no issues with these things. And what else was I going to mention about my experiences with being in a real flying high type situation where my energy is up and I'm doing certain things? Oh, plenty. We're talking weeks, months of going and going and going and going and going. It's a, oh, well, I'm manic here, so I'm just going to crash and burn at some point. No. I can go and go and go for a good month or 2. And yeah, I'm still sleeping. I am sleeping. I'm waking up quite a bit during it, and I'm getting good 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. They're sometimes very poor 8 hours. I might only be sleeping 3 hours of them, laying in the bed because I'm thinking about things. That's usually what it is when I'm manic. More so in my bed, I'm laying there thinking, and I'm not sleeping. Still, I'm in bed, and as long as I'm in bed, that's as much as I can freaking do, other than maybe taking some valerian root to make myself go to sleep, and it usually doesn't do anything. I'm just wide awake. So I gotta take all the stimulants out, I gotta do all that, and I'll still be wide awake. So I'm gonna take all those out anyway, because I definitely don't want myself to be more up than I am. Because a lot of times my heart is racing, blah, 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 and my head's going so fast, I'm getting a headache. So I don't need more. And a lot of times, I'll be talking to my mother real fast, and I'll let her know. I'll say, look, I'm a little up right now, and I hate it. I hate this. And she'll say, I know. I don't know what to do for you. It's usually say, hey, yeah, what can I do for myself during those times? So that's when I'm experiencing those things. Basically, that's not the spectrum of my moods. That's not everything I go through. It's not touching on what I will go do in these moods, or how completely I will go on. Whether or not I'll think of completely outrageous things during a manic episode, anxiety episode. A lot of times when I'm having in public, in anxiety mode, the first thing that goes through my head is that I just leave everything that I'm doing and just split. And that right there is no good. So anything that you can do, just hang on to what you have. Just make your purchase at your grocery stores. Just chill out. Whatever's making you, just breathe. Think about really nothing. Just breathe. Just say fuck it. Just breathe. Get through that public situation. And if you are similar to me, where you happen quite a bit in public, then I remove the public from most of the stuff. Am I going to go to a spaghetti factory anymore after that? No, because it's not my thing. Too loud. Will I go back to that Japanese arcade? Yeah, because I'm cool there. So this is how you got to be able to roll with places that you're cool with, for the most part. If you're not cool with some of these places, no need to go there. Another thing too, I get a little anxiety and all that when I'm kind of hot. So if I'm wearing a jacket and all that, and I'm in a store, I just need to take off my jacket. I just need to cool down a little bit. And another thing, in the past, usually when I'm having some kind of weird thing going on, cold is good. Cold is a good thing. Yeah, there goes my filter. Cold is a good thing. So if you need to take a cold shower, or I've curdled up on driveways, usually from one too many drink. Still, I'm having some kind of issue. And all of these things have to do with making myself cold. So get a cold ice cubes, get cold drink, and a lot of times that chills me out. If I'm in public and it's a hot day and all that stuff doesn't do me any good for the anxiety at all. That's a little tip. So anyways, maybe there was a couple things in here that wasn't enlightening to you, something that maybe might be good for you or someone that you know. If you have anything to input, did I miss anything? What have you gone through yourself? Has what you've gone through kind of similar to what I've gone through? If you have panic attacks and anxiety attacks, do you yourself definitely know the difference between the two? And if you ever go through psychosis or any kind of mania, up in some higher up psychosis type situation, how is that for you? What do you have a story? Do you have an instance that comes to mind that you can put in the comments? I want to know. At least for me, put something in there so that way I can not be alone in this whole anxiety attack, panic attack, mania situation. Well, good night. Take care.